Tom Abel, obviously a very disappointing day for Somerset, but would it be fair to say that that game was actually won and lost in the first session on Thursday morning, when after putting Nottinghamshire in, they went in at lunchtime, no wicket down and over 100 on the board?
I wouldn't say that was the only facet of the game. Across the 3-4 days, I think they've outperformed us with the bat and the ball. Probably just reacted to conditions a little bit better. But of course, they obviously on the first morning got off to a great start, being 120 for none. I guess in the context of a relatively low-scoring game, that was a pretty big partnership for them. And it's obviously disappointing. But there were spells where I thought, we were as good as we probably have been for a long time. I think back to yesterday and how we sort of fought to get ourselves back in the game after obviously a disappointing first day and a half. I thought it was a great effort, but of course, it was a pretty tricky surface. There was sort of considerable movement throughout, and they reacted and played better.
Still got the problem with the top order batting, despite a new lineup. 5 wickets down with not very many runs on the board in all 4 innings so far in the Championship. That must be a concern.
It's a bit of a fascinating one, really, because I think on a pitch like that, I think almost the harder you try and fight and the tighter you try and keep your defence, there was often a ball with your name on it, and trying to find that balance between scoring and putting the bowlers under pressure and equally trying to absorb the pressure when you need to. It's quite a fine balance to strike. And look, it doesn't mean sort of we're bad players, because we've not scored runs on a wicket that has moved considerably. I think both batting lineups would say the same. But of course, as a batting group, they outperformed us with the bat as well. And we just spoke in the change room. I don't think we probably reacted as well as we possibly could have done. And I don't think we were too far off. But of course, we made it hard for ourselves.
You've got some good players waiting in the wings: Tom Banton, George Bartlett, Lewis Goldsworthy. Is it too early to be thinking about making changes to the batting lineup?
It's obviously been a tough sort of couple of weeks for certain players missing out on the first team, and these are good problems that we want to have. Where we're sort of got competition for places, and obviously George started and then was unfortunate to miss out without doing too much wrong. But I think it's also important, like, you give people backing. The last thing you want is to sort of react too emotionally, and you have one bad game and all of a sudden sort of we're out of form or anything like that. It can happen. I think it wasn't easy for any batters on that surface. So of course we're disappointed, but we want to try and keep a little bit of perspective. Confidence is very fickle. We're never too far away, and the good thing is in a few days' time we can bounce back as a batting unit.
A couple of fitness issues: Josh Davies' hamstring, and Craig Overton, who was only able to bowl 3 overs on that first morning, and has been favouring his left foot or his left ankle really all through the game. What is the situation with both of them?
Yeah, there were another couple of challenges we had on day one, which is no excuse, but it obviously didn't really help us. It's sort of, obviously bowling's a pretty physical thing, isn't it? And there's obviously a few sort of issues that we're trying to manage there. And
are they going to be both of them? Are they going to be fit for Lancashire?
We have to see how sort of the next couple of days go. Obviously, it's a pretty quick turnaround, but I'm probably not the best person to ask. And obviously, we want guys fit, but there's no, obviously, if they're not quite ready to fulfil sort of their duties in a 4-day game, that's not ideal. So we'll see. We'll assess over the next couple of days and see where we go. But obviously, we do feel like we've got slightly more depth in our bowling attack, and we've got a couple of guys bowling really well, sort of ready to come in if they're not quite fit. So
what about yourself? Will you be fit to bowl?
I haven't bowled a ball in about 3 months, so I was my first game back. Hadn't played a huge amount of cricket. Obviously pretty pleased physically how sort of coming through this game, and how things were in the field and with the bat. Obviously bowling's probably a little way off yet.
Well, disappointing draw against Warwick.